Welcome back to Mark's Racing Engines and Mark and Misty's Performance. Today we're going to degree a camshaft. I've done videos on this before. Now, there's several different ways to degree a camshaft. This way we're going to do it as you're assembling an engine. It's easiest to do it when it don't have no heads on it. So, follow along, and this is the way I do it. There's other videos on different ways to do it. There's not a wrong way. Well, I guess there is some wrong ways. This is just my way, and it's the easiest way. So the first thing we need to do is get our degree wheel bolted on. I just have an old harmonic balancer that this is small block Chevy here. Now, if you're doing an LS, you know it's a little different, but whatever you have to do to get your degree wheel bolted on, start by getting number one cylinder close to top dead center as you can by eyeballing it, or the way I do it is I use a deck bridge. This way what I can do is, and I'll try to zoom in on that if I can. So what I do is I start by making sure your deck bridge is zeroed out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to watch the needle, obviously until it's at the maximum, close as you can. That's pretty close to top dead center. We might be dead on, we might not be, we might be a degree off, we might be 2 degrees off, but you're close. At this point, what you want to do is bend your timing pointer. You just make your timing pointer out of a piece of wire, a piece of coat hanger, or whatever. Bend it until it reads on number one. Now that's something else. I have a Pro wheel here. Or, I'm sorry, reads 0. It needs to read 0. This is a Pro wheel from Moroso. I like the bigger wheels because it's easier, they're more accurate, but you can use a small wheel too. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to tell y'all something. In the world of engines, if you get your camshaft within 1 to 2 degrees of where it's supposed to be, you're really not going to tell that much difference. Matter of fact, you're not going to tell any difference at all, and I'll argue that with anybody. So, you know, don't sweat the small shit's what I say. Just get it in there as close as you can. But obviously, the bigger the wheel, the more accurate it's going to be because it spreads it out. So, all right, now what we're going to do, we have this pointer at 0. We're close to top dead center here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a piston stop on number one, and we're going to check it on both sides of the degree wheel and see where we're at. So we're going to run it down in the hole a little bit. Now we're going to put the piston stop on it. I bought this piston stop here. I think I got it from Goodson Tools. I don't know. They sell them all over the place, but you can build one of these. All it is just a piece of steel with a bolt going through it. You know, you just need some way to stop that piston, and it's better to stop it right in the center if you can. This one's kind of universal. All right, now we're going to rotate the engine around now. Oops, let me get back in view here. I think the pointer's in view. Maybe tilt that camera down just a little bit. That's a little bit too much. So, okay. Now, our pointer's here. So we're going to rotate the engine around until it stops. Now we're stopped, you see, right at 30 degrees. We're going to rotate the engine around the other direction until it stops. and we're at 29 degrees. So now what we're going to do is you take those two numbers and you add them together and divide by 2. And what you're going to find out is it's going to be 29 and a half. So okay. Okay, so we're going to take 30 degrees from the one side plus 29 degrees from the other side. That equals 59, and you divide it by 2. I'm doing this on the calculator. This is not rocket science here. Y'all guys can figure this out. Anyway, divide it by 2. If I can find the damn divider. Divided by 2. 29 and a half, which we know that already. So now what we need to do is we need to move this pointer to about 29 and a half. Actually, you're within half a degree anyway. So all right, now we're at 29 and a half. Now we're going to go back and check it on the other side. Now we're at 29 and a little bit. That's 29 and a half there. Go back to the other side. I know my big head's in the wood. 29 and a half on that side. Alright, so now we know that this pointer, and you don't touch that pointer, do not move it, don't bump it, whatever, you'll have to start this process over again. We know that that pointer is set at top dead center on the degree wheel. So now you can take your piston stop off. We know we're at top dead center. So when that's on 0, and that's something else. Always doing the rotation of the engine when you're checking stuff. Alright, now we're on 0, we're on top dead center. Now, you can use a lifter. You can use a lifter and a dial indicator like this with a magnetic base. You can use that to do this. I have a fancy dancy little tool to do it, so I'm going to use that. Nothing wrong with using a dial indicator. It's faster to do it with the fancy dancy little tool. If I can find my fancy dancy little tool. This is designed, well, it'll pretty much work in any engine. And it's got a collet on the bottom of it, and you tighten this up, and it tightens up in the lifter bore. So we're going to use this today. What we're going to do here is get the cam on the base circle-ish. I'm going to pause this for a second. Now I get this thing in here. Okay, now that we have that in there, now what we're going to do here, and I'm focusing on the dial indicator because I want you to be able to see what's going on here. So now, we're going to rotate the engine, and I'm going to rotate it. Maybe you can see the needle in that shot a little bit. Yes, okay. So if you'll watch this needle here, we're going to rotate it until it maxes all the way out. And you're going to kind of have to go back and forth a little bit to get it maxed out.
Good morning. Willkommen.
We don't care where it is right now. We're just trying to get it set. So it's starting to come up. And it's maxing out somewhere right about there. So we're going to turn our dial indicator face where it reads 0. Alright, now from here on out, this is where we're going to be checking our intake centerline. This is called the intake centerline method, by the way. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the degree wheel. Actually, I'm going to leave that right there. We're going to turn the degree wheel until we get to 50 thousandths on both sides of the maximum lift of that load. So now, here's what we're going to do. There's 10, 20, 30, 50 thousandths. Whoops. Always go. Okay. Now, we're going to read what the degree wheel says, right there. So we're going to back this up for you guys to see, and I don't know if y'all can see that. I got to stick my big head down there in the way. That is 143 degrees. We're going to record that number. 143 degrees. Or you can just go ahead and put it in the calculator. 143. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go the other direction. Back past 0. And back down to 50 again. But we're going to go, this time we're going to go, since we're going the opposite rotation, you always want to go back about, 10 thousandths or so, and then come back forward, back to 50. Sometimes it's hard to do. Just take your time. So we're back on 50 going that direction. Now we're going to read the indicator again. Now we're at 50. This looks like about 57 degrees. Maybe a little under. We're going to call it 57 degrees. So we're going to add that in to 57 degrees. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take that number right there. We're going to add it together, which is 143 and 57. That's 200. If we and now we need to divide that by 2. That gives us 100. That gives us 100 degrees. So we look at our cam card. If I can find it. There's a lot of editing on this one. Okay, this says it wants it in at 102 degrees. So we're 2 degrees advanced from where it should be. So we're going to have to back this cam up. There's several ways to do that. Luckily enough, this timing gear, this timing set, which you can't see because it's behind the degree wheel, it goes in 2 degree increments. So I can back it up 2 degrees and it'll be fine. I may actually leave it at 100 degrees. I don't know. Might have to just play with that because at 100 degrees it will probably make a little more off the corner power. You know what? I think I will leave it at 100 degrees. So anyway, that's the easy way to degree. Set your top dead center, get your pointer set, get whatever method you're going to use. If you're using a dial indicator on a lifter, that's fine. Get it at the highest lift point, then back it off to 50 thousandths. Read the degree wheel, see what it says, then go back to the highest lift point and go forward to 50 thousandths. Read what it says, take those two numbers, add them together, divide it by 2, and that'll give you your intake center line. There's another method to do it, and I will do a video on that as well. This right here is the simplest way to do it, and honestly, it's probably the most accurate way to do it. And well, it's not the most accurate. It is as accurate as the other way. You're always going to be within half a degree to 1 degree. Now, you start getting, 2 degrees is about the maximum I would say to be off on a camshaft and let it fly. You have to understand that when this engine runs after the chain breaks in, the cam timing is going to back off some. So I think we're just going to let it eat at 100. The other thing is you can use that as a tool to tune the engine. I mean, you can advance the camshaft. It will typically give you more power down low, and if you back the cam timing off, it will typically it does the reverse. It usually gives you a little more torque at the top, but don't go way off your specs of the cam manufacturer, because they have it designed for a specific thing. So anyway, that's it. We're done. I hope that helps somebody. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Peace out.